The Ohio State University has announced the closure of Office of Diversity and Inclusion and the Center for Belonging and Social Change. The decision comes as a response to federal directives and the recent enactment of Ohio Senate Bill 1, which bans diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at public universities. This move sparked widespread debate among students, faculty, and alumni. The video heard from Ohio State alumni as they react to the closures, reflect on their past experiences with the DEI office, and share messages for current and future students.
When I heard that Ohio State was shutting down diversity and inclusion offices, I was really surprised, actually, because even when I was here, it was such a loud drumbeat, like the diversity and equity and inclusion. Probably not in those terms, but still. So it was surprising that they rolled over so fast, and honestly, like preemptively kowtowing to this sort of threat is, I think it shows like a lack of courage, a lack of moral courage, and a lack of backbone in a way that was really disappointing. Ohio State has spent decades and decades building up a reputation as a very diverse place, like a safe place for diversity, like kind of building a reputation on that, and to watch them fold immediately kind of signals to me as a writer that like this is not something that they really truly cared about, because they weren't willing to go to bat for it in any capacity.
I attended Ohio State in the 2000s, early 2000s. I received a scholarship from the Office of Minority Affairs, OMA, as it was called at the time, the Moral Scholars Program. And that's one of the reasons why I was able to come to Ohio State. And so I got into both of those programs, and the OMA scholarship made it less expensive for me to come to Ohio State. And so being a person from an impoverished background, my parents said, "You're going to Ohio State." So when I heard about this office being closed, this office has been in existence for over 60 years, I was sad, I was disappointed, and I was trying to figure out more information about why the university would want to do something like this.
DEI and multicultural initiatives at Ohio State. I met a lot of friends through these kinds of things. I know a lot of my friends met friends. It was just a way of connecting with each other and forming a community and like tapping into a larger culture, especially like for LGBTQ students. It's a really interesting and important way of doing it because it can be a very like lonely and fractious community.
On March 4, 2025, approximately 900 students, faculty, and staff gathered on the Oval to protest the closure of Office of Diversity and Inclusion and the Senate Bill 1.
So the idea that like an artist couldn't say the things that they wanted to say is that is a very real threat now. It's especially tough because this is an educational environment. So what happens when you kind of cut off at the knees an education that should be like really holistic and well-rounded, and now all of a sudden there are huge parts of like the human psyche that you can't go into at all?
I think what is going to happen now is, like I mentioned about ODI being a safe place. Campus already felt hostile to folks in 2025. Those folks weren't alive who are in school now in the undergraduate. They weren't alive during the 60s, myself included. Campus felt hostile to me in the 2000s. We weren't getting hoses sprayed on us. We weren't being attacked by dogs, but it did not feel safe.
The things that you were getting out of these programs are still available to you. You might have to look harder, and you might have to look beyond the boundaries of the university. But if you are looking for resources, if you're looking for friends, if you're looking for culture, those things are still out there, and they'll always be out there for you. So don't let the bastards get you down, I guess.
Yeah, for the students, being yourself. For everyone, being Black and showing up is a protest in and of itself. They don't want us to be here. They don't expect us to be here. We're going to be here. We're still coming.
Here's Vivian Yang for The Lantern.